Hi, fourth grade. Let's look back at the place value chart. Kind of remind us what that really means. If I have a 1 and I put it on my place value chart, I'm going to start with the ones. I'm not going to start over here. I'm always going to start at the far right. When I have 10 of those, and I know that I can bundle that, and that becomes a 10, and now I have 0 in the ones place. Now, that 10 isn't really just a 1 because it actually represents these 10 ones. So 110 is 10 times as much as a 1. Now, when I get 10 tens, then that becomes 1 100, and 1 100 is 10 times as much as 110. Moving along, I continue moving on the place value chart. When I have 10 100s, that becomes 1,000, and 1 1,000 is 10 times as much as 100. And when I have 10 thousands, then that becomes 1 10,000, and I have 1 0,000, 0 hundred, 0 tens. This becomes 1 10,000, and 1 10,000 is 10 times as much as 1,000. 10 thousands then becomes 1 100,000, and 1 100,000 is 10 times as much as 1 10,000. And when I get 10 100,000s, then that gets moved over to the millions, and 1 million is 10 times as much as 100,000. So if you look back at what it looks like here, then I could actually take a 1, and 1 times 10 is 10. 10 times 10 is 100. 100 times 10 is 1,000. 1,000 times 10 is 10,000. 10,000 times 10 is 100,000. And 100,000 times 10 is a million. Now I can do the same thing when I'm dividing. I could say, well, a million divided by 10 is 100,000. 100,000 divided by 10 is 10,000. 10,000 divided by 10 is 1,000. And 1,000 divided by 10 is 100. And 100 divided by 10 is 10. And 10 divided by 10 is 1. Our whole place value system and our whole place value chart is based on each one of the next sections. The value is 10 times of the one that is previous to it. And that will just help you keep it straight. And that's really important as we're looking at numbers and comparing numbers. So I have this number here. I have 7,345. But it's not really a 7 here, even though there's a 7 here, because this 7 is actually 7,000. And the 300 is not actually a 3. It really is representative of 300. And the 4 is actually representative of 40. Its value is 40. When it's in the tens place, the 4 is 40. When it's in the hundreds place, the 3 is 300. When it's in the thousands place, the 7 is a 7,000. It's really important that you remember the order of the place value because it changes it. We can take any digit that we have from 0 to 9 and create any number in the entire world. And we can look at numbers like 7,345 and 3,468, and we can compare those numbers. Now, when we compare numbers, we're not starting on the right side where the ones are. We're actually going to start where the biggest number is. In this case, it's the thousands. And when I look at it, I can compare 7,000 to 3,000, and I know that this is the larger number. So if I'm given a math problem that says 7,345, is it greater than, less than, or equal to 3,468? Well, by comparing them on my place value grid, I know that 7,000 is the larger number. And so I'm going to be able to take that problem, compare where the thousands are, and say, well, 7,000 is more than 3,000.